Hello everyone! In this video, I'll be teaching you how to make your own graphics using a free app called Canva. I taught my mom how to do it and she's been loving making her own graphics and feeling very proud of herself. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is go to the App Store or Google Play, whatever you have, and type in Canva and you're going to download the very first one that comes up. Once it's done, you're going to open it up and it's going to ask you to log in or sign up, but that's not necessary because you can just click on Connect with Facebook. And you do click Continue. And once it loads, you'll be taken to the home screen. And throughout this tutorial, I'm going to do my best to explain to you what I'm clicking on because since this is a phone tutorial, I'm tapping my phone screen so there isn't a visible mouse cursor that you can follow. So I'm going to do my best to explain. So if you look in the bottom right corner, you see the blue circle with a plus. You're going to tap on that and then you're going to click Facebook post. After that, it's going to bring you to a page full of pre-made templates of posts that you can click on and edit if you want. But right now we want a blank slate. So you're going to just click on the white circle with an X that's on the bottom middle of the screen. It's a little hard to see, but it's there. Once you have your blank start, you're going to click on the gray circle with the plus on the bottom right corner of your screen. Then you click on Uploads. To upload your content, you click on the blue bar that says Upload an image or video. It'll ask you where you want to get your content from, and you want to click Photo Library. You can upload a bunch of pictures at once if you have a lot of graphics to make. Here, I'm clicking on 4 pictures that I'm going to need for the example graphics I'm about to show you. The first example we're going to do is an executive director graphic. So I clicked on the executive director template from Paparazzi. And the very first thing I want to explain is how to change the size of any element. So elements are pictures, text boxes, shapes, etc. So everything has circles in the corners and lines on the left, right, top, and bottom. If you click on any circle, that shrinks or enlarges the selected element. So if you click on any of the little lines on the left, right, top, or bottom, that crops it. So circles shrink and enlarge and lines crop. So I went ahead and used the circles to fully enlarge the picture, and then I clicked on the gray plus button again and then uploads. That brought me back to my pictures, and I clicked on a picture of the lovely Paula Santiago because she was the last person that I made an executive director graphic for, so we're going to use her for our example. In a perfect world, everyone would have a perfectly square photo of themselves to make these graphics even quicker and easier to make, but that's just not the case most of the time. So what you want to do is use a corner circle to shrink the picture and line the top left corner of it up with the top left corner of the small square that it needs to fit in. Then you're going to use a corner circle again to enlarge the picture so that the top right corner is lined up with the top right corner of the square it needs to fit in. Then you're going to use the bottom middle line to crop your picture so that it fits within the square. Then you're finished. To save your graphic, you're going to click on the icon at the top right of the screen that looks like a little up pointing arrow in a little box. Then click on the top option, which is Save Image As. After that, your graphic will be on your phone's camera roll. Okay, now we're back at the home screen, and this time we're going to select Instagram post. The reason for this is because that gives us a perfect square to start with instead of a rectangle. We're going to click the white circle with the X on the bottom middle of the screen, which is going to give us a blank white square to start with instead of the pre-made templates. Then we're going to click the gray plus and click Uploads. Here I'm selecting a Life of the Party Black Diamond template and then dragging a corner circle to enlarge it all the way to totally fit the square. After that, I click the gray plus, and this time I'm choosing my picture of Kelly Shea. In the last graphic, we had a picture that needed to be resized and cropped in order to fit into the square. And this picture also needs to be resized, but the cropping situation is a little bit different than the last one, which is good because that means I can show you an example of another way of situating a picture that you'll probably need to do. So same as before, you're going to shrink the picture and line the top left corner of the picture up with the top left corner of the square. And as you can see, there's a ton of empty space on the right because this picture in its original form is just never going to be the right shape to fit into a perfect square. And even if you place it in the center, it's still just situated ugly and unacceptable. So instead, you enlarge it so that the top right corner of the picture lines up with the top right corner of the square. And after that, you can crop the picture to fit in the square. It does, however, matter which part of the picture you choose to crop because cropping the bottom has cut off the bottom of her face. If you crop the top instead, it will cut off the top of her head, but if it's unavoidable, it's always better to cut off the top of someone's head than to cut off the bottom of their face. It just looks way nicer. Next, I'm going to show you an example of a graphic that is not a recognition graphic with a pre-made paparazzi template. Here is the YouTube video thumbnail that I created for this video. I'm going to show you this graphic example so you can become familiar with some of the other editing options there are, such as adding text and other elements for some pizzazz. The first thing I did is click on a pre-made YouTube thumbnail template, and I deleted the default picture and replaced it with my own. Then I enlarged the photo, and as you can see, the picture is now covering the pink zigzag element, which we do not want. So if you look at the bottom of your screen and you scroll through your editing options, you'll see that there's a button that says position. Click that and then click send backward. This will send the selected element backwards, and it's the same concept if you want to bring an element forwards. Now I clicked on the default blue box and changed it to the color I wanted, and then double clicked in the text box to highlight the default words and then backspace to delete them. Then I wrote the title of my video and changed the font. It's worth mentioning that there are some fonts that have a crown next to them, which means you have to pay for them, which who would ever? So just choose a free font. Next, I added a square and changed the color to hot pink for a pop of color and used it to surround my title. Then I clicked the gray plus and then text and clicked add a heading to place my own new text box. Then I double clicked on it to highlight the default words, deleted them, and wrote my mom's website, changed the color, and placed it where I wanted it. Then I decided it was missing something, so I hit the gray plus and then elements and typed light bulb in the search bar. I chose the light bulb and placed it where I wanted it. And you can also tilt any element by clicking the little tilt button that's underneath it. Now I'm going to show you another example of a different type of graphic that you can make. I was exploring around the app and I discovered that if you search for Venn diagram, there's a lot of cool pre-made options for you to edit, and I chose this gray and pink one for my example. The first thing I did was take away some elements that I didn't want. Then I changed the default text to what I wanted it to say and changed the font and also added a new text box and then copy and pasted my mom's about me from her website into it. Then I resized the text and played with the text alignment options to make it look more appealing. Then I added my mom's name and photo and website. Then I added a bunch of benefits of joining paparazzi to my Venn diagram. I put a lot of thought into this. Paparazzi gives you friendship, a flexible schedule, self-confidence, and money. And then because you have a flexible schedule, you're able to travel with your friends. And if you have money and a flexible schedule, that makes you free. And then money plus self-confidence equals recognition because earning money is being recognized for your hard work, and recognition helps you gain confidence. And last but not least, when you have your friends as your support system, that also helps keep you confident. It's all tying together and it all equals winning. A perfect Venn diagram. The last graphic I'm going to do today is under the quiz Instagram stories category. There are so many cute, fun quiz, survey, questionnaire, algorithm-y type templates in this category, so I highly recommend that you look through it and choose some to make. I chose this or that survey, and so we're going to click on the gray plus and then elements, and I'm going to type check mark because I want to add a check mark next to my answers. And once I have it in my graphic, I'm going to shrink it to the size I want and add it next to my answers. And here is the new editing trick I'm teaching you with this graphic. Once you need another check mark, you can grab another one, have it placed in at full size, and have to manually shrink it every time. But you will not do that when I tell you there's a clone button on the bottom left corner of the screen that looks like two pieces of paper stacked on top of each other. Now you can easily make as many same size copies as you need. So here I'm just filling in the rest of my answers. I hope you all enjoyed the video and it helped you learn and that it will benefit your business. Thank you so much for watching. See ya next time. And I'm just going to choose the first option. Norma, why are you crying?